Let's start with the basics of meditation and going over the fundamentals of correct practice so that you can attain awakening for yourself. We are going to start with the very basics here. What I am teaching here are not quick 5-minute practices. Many of these techniques take several full days or longer to master, so please be patient, easy on yourself, and don't rush things. On the left, you are going to see what things look like from the third person perspective, as if you were watching me from the outside. And on the right, you are going to see what things look like from the first person perspective, which is what I am perceiving as I meditate. The depictions I give and what is shared on the right side are not entirely accurate and focus mainly on visuals, as it is very difficult, if not impossible, to fully capture the experience. Regardless, the first person account should help you orient yourself regarding what to expect for each stage of practice in terms of phenomenological experience. As a last caveat, what I am teaching here is focused on helping you attain awakening. If you are most interested in relaxation or mindfulness strategies, these videos are probably not for you. However, I will say that relaxation and mindfulness are natural consequences of correct practice, even if they are not the fundamental goal. To start, find a quiet and calm place to practice, where you can be free from distractions. I am outside in this video, but you can be at your bedside, in your home, or just about anywhere. You don't need to be anywhere mystical or intense, like an abandoned mountaintop that is freezing cold. Most important here is that you are in an environment where distractions are minimalized, because attention is what we are trying to cultivate the most. Find a comfortable way to sit, ideally something that does not take effort to hold. Some people sit in very dramatic fashions, like having their arms outstretched and touching their pointer fingers and thumbs like an OK sign, or a number of various other postures. These postures are not necessary, and at deeper stages, you will lose proprioception and feeling of your body. So a position that takes effort to hold is not something I recommend. But truthfully, you can do whatever works for you. Just choose something simple, and something that does not cause straining, pain, discomfort, or intensive effort. Here, I am sitting with my hands gently clasped and in half lotus position. Nothing is forceful, strained, or painful. You can even see my head move slowly as I am sitting and as the video progresses. This is partially because you lose proprioception as you go into deeper stages of meditation. This is normal. Don't be so focused on what your body is doing. You don't need to try and impress yourself or anyone else by maintaining a certain pose. Again, most important here is how we are training and cultivating our attention. Now that you are sitting in a comfortable position, go ahead and close your eyes. At this point, we want to familiarize ourselves with our internal environment. Notice the blackness, static, patterns, verbal activity, or perhaps even colors if you are perceiving them. Give yourself some time to become familiar with everything that is going on. Phosphenes, visual imagery, there might be a variety of mental activities here. There's no rush. You may even want to spend a full day or two just watching activity and familiarizing yourself with your internal environment. Think of what you are seeing as the surface of a deep ocean, which we will be exploring in later videos. In terms of the fundamentals, what I want you to take away from this video is how to manage distractions and challenges that come up during meditation. Let's take a simple task here to practice. With all of your attention and focus, I want you to count up to 100 with each breath and visualize each number the best you can as you count. Go ahead and try. See what happens, see how far you can get. For pretty much everyone who is starting out, This simple task is extraordinarily difficult. Perhaps you are having some thoughts that are not related to the task, or you are feeling discomfort, a desire to move, itchiness, pain, doubts about the validity of what you are doing, or some other kind of distraction. These are the most important things to recognize at this stage. Because our task is to count up to 100 without being distracted or pulled away from our task, anything and everything that is not related to this task is by definition a distraction and something that needs to be mitigated. All of these distractions, mind wandering, self reflection, thinking about the past or future, and mental activities that are not directly related to your goal, these are all activities of the default mode network, which is something we are learning to control at this stage if we want to think about things more in terms of a neurophysiological capacity. The way we practice here is through catching ourselves when we get distracted and then gently reorienting ourselves back to our task, starting over from 1. In other words, if you become distracted, once you catch yourself, go ahead and pull your attention back to your task. You don't need to push away what it is that was going on. You just need to shift your attention back to your task. Start over from 1. You have to be honest with yourself here. If you get distracted in any way, you have to start over. This is likely not something you will be able to do within a single day of practice, if you have not practiced before. But you will get better over time. Do your best to sit and practice until you are able to complete this task at will and without issue and consistently. What we are doing here should not be forceful. Learn to control your mental activity by giving or pulling attention as needed, because attention is the fuel that the mind operates off of. You may need to practice hours each day for a week or so. It really depends. Everyone is a little bit different. You will know you have attained mastery here when you can gently count up without being distracted by activities from your mind. In essence, your mind becomes quiet and focuses itself on your task, not extraneous activity. Give yourself the time you need. Be patient and be kind to yourself. If you can correctly master the fundamentals needed to complete this task consistently, you will have a solid foundation for attaining success with future videos. Future videos will involve techniques that become more subtle and more challenging to master, so it really pays to learn the fundamentals here as best as possible. If you try to skip ahead without mastery, you will simply get lost or frustrated. We are quite literally retraining and rewiring our brain here. This takes time. Take the time you need to practice. Feel free to leave any comments if you have questions or need further help. With mastery, you will find that even mastering a technique as simple as the one in this video gives you a certain level of freedom during your day-to-day experience, because you will have better control over your attention and how it is you want your mind to operate in your day-to-day life.